I love keeping up with friends online, and one friend in particular I've kept a close eye on has been posting daily about a year-long challenge to move every single day. Oh, and by the way, this is the Sweat Lives podcast. We got goals, and I'm Gina Anderson Cohen, and joining me today is Gideon Akande, who is a two times Chicago Golden Gloves champion. That is a mouthful and also a big accomplishment. And national winner of Men's Health Next Top Trainer competition. He creates online workouts that you should absolutely try that are both live and on demand. He's also gotten a ton of love from media outlets. He's all over the place. And I've loved watching Gideon as he posts about Project 365, his challenge to take on 365 consecutive days of movement. Gideon, thanks for joining me.
Gino, what's up? I'm glad to be chatting with you, friend.
I know. We get to see each other actually kind of a lot these days, which is lovely.
Yes, it's been
But
very nice. More frequently, regularly, for sure.
yeah, what a year. What a great year. But before we jump in, at a Sweat Life, we start every single day by sharing one good thing. So, Gideon, what is one good thing?
There are a lot of good things. You just got to look sometimes, but also sometimes they're just kind of glaring in your face. And my one good thing is my baby boy, Samuel, who is 15 months old, who is walking and now formulating words and
Oh my gosh.
sounds and little baby sign language and making all of the milestones, which is really, really fun and really exciting to see as I continue this new chapter of my life as a father.
And I've also seen him get involved in this challenge too, which has been so cute. Oh man, I need to meet this baby still. Okay, that's a
Sooner
conversation
than
for
later.
another time. Yeah.
Sooner than later, we'll make that happen.
Okay, my good thing is I was telling you right before we started recording, I'm not feeling super great today. So I went to restore hyper wellness and I got an IV to help me feel better. I'm not hungover, but I just always find that IVs tend to help. Let's see, get those vitamins into my belly.
100%. You're taking the reactive yet proactive approach to getting back on track. So good for you. Hopefully you feel
Yeah.
better soon.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I want to hear all about this challenge. Can you tell us the rules of Project 365?
Rules. Wow, rules make it seem just unfun. What I essentially set up were some parameters, if you will, or
Parameters.
maybe even let's call them some guidelines, just to assist me. And they're very, very loose. And Project 365 essentially started at the beginning of this year, 2023, or should I call it late last year, so I can jumpstart into the year with a
Mm-hmm.
mindset of moving every single day. Now, that can seem very, very daunting and almost impossible if you're looking at it from a macro perspective. But what I wanted to do is make sure that I was staying on track of my wellness, finding ways to move my body and honor it through movement. And that movement can be anything for at least 15 minutes every day of the year. If I do it at 5 in the morning or 12 in the afternoon, 6 p.m. at night, or at 11:59 right before the clock strikes midnight, it all counts for Project 365. And movement for me is concentrated movement, meaning if I normally walk to work, I'm not necessarily going to count that because that's a means to an end. I have to do that every day. This is time that I set aside specifically for my body, and it can look like strength training. It can look like cycling. It can look like going for a walk intentionally. It can look like yoga. It can look like a foam rolling and stretch session. There is no wrong way to do it as long as it's concentrated movement, detracted from the normal course of the day.
I love that because you and I were interacting on threads. I think there's so many places to interact these days,
There's a
but
lot.
yeah, you were talking about how you love walking on threads, and I mentioned that it was the most popular form of movement in our state of fitness survey this year. And I think I was baffled by the fact that a lot of folks didn't seem to consider walking exercise pre-pandemic. And I think it's
Mhm.
exactly what you just said, Giddy, that it's concentrated. Like I am here walking on purpose.
100%. And, you know, people may look at me and they say, all right, well, you played football in college and, you train people using these type of parameters or these pieces of equipment. All right, you're a three-time Chicago Golden Glove boxing champion. They
Three
may look at
time.
like,
I said two
yeah,
time. Oh my God, let's update the stats.
you are all good. So they may look at, some of the higher intensity things that I may have done over the course of my career and all of the higher intensity things that I still do. But at the end of the day, I don't do high intensity stuff every single day. The older I get, the more I appreciate the things that are the yin to the yang, the restorative movement, the mindfulness, the stuff that you do that's great for your mind, body, and soul connection. The walking, the stretching, the community events that don't
Hmm.
necessarily have to be about competition and burning 1,000 calories. So all of it all adds to me being my best self. And I think we all should explore those different avenues. There's so much to benefit from when we do.
I love that. Okay, so what was going on in your mind when you decided to start this? What spurred this project
Yeah.
365?
Oh yeah. So what was going on in my mind? What was going on in my body? There were a lot of
Yeah.
things that were happening at the time. So this is the end of 2022. I am a new father with the challenges of becoming a new father, meaning certain things start to go to the wayside. Things that you normally would do, you don't have the time for, and you have to kind of find a way to make things happen as they're supposed to happen. But at the same time, I'm a fitness and I'm a wellness coach, right? I'm a fitness professional. I'm supposed to be active. I'm supposed to be
Hmm.
doing these things, as society tells you to do. But at the same time, I want to do these things. I know that they're good for me. I know they benefit me. I preach it, right? And I also
Hmm.
want to be able to practice what I preach. So I was like, you know what? I'm not getting in the movement as consistently as I would like to. My sleep isn't quite there. My nutrition isn't quite there. My movement isn't as consistent. How can I set a challenge for myself and put it out there into the world to hold me accountable where I am doing these things on a regular basis? So I said, you know what? Let's set a big, audacious goal. Let's put it out there. Let's throw it on social media. Let's hold myself accountable by doing daily 1 minute vlogs to recap what my movement was, to inspire people, sure, but more so to hold myself accountable that I'm doing what I said I was going to do. And that's how it was born, to get me back on track to doing the things that I love, doing the things that I know would benefit me, and the things that are going to make me a better father, a better husband, a better fitness professional, and a better person.
Oh, I love. And so before hopping on with you, I Googled because intuitively, I think you and I know you can shift how you're moving each day and still get the rest and recovery you need.
Yeah.
But I did some Googling to find some resources for this. Um, so I can support you in your answer. But rest and recovery are super important. We know it, we preach it all the time, but you've still been working it in, even though you're working out every single day, right? Are you still getting it in, that recovery?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And as I mentioned, my movement doesn't always have to be high intensity movement. It doesn't have to be a 10-mile run or, a 1 hour strength session. Yoga is part of my movement.
Mm-hmm.
Stretching and foam rolling is part of my movement. A walk is part of my movement. So if you're watching me recap, you'll see that some days I am completely drenched in sweat, and that's the
Yeah.
way I love to be. But at some days, there's times where I'm bone dry, and you'll see me next to a foam roller and next to a percussion device and sitting on the ground or on the mat or outdoors in the sunshine with my son going for a stroll with him. So there's different ways for me to level off and taper off my movement while also stepping on the gas pedal and making things more challenging, and I make sure that I balance the two.
And I think that also like we can look at that as a vice versa too. Like when we think
Yeah.
about a rest or a recovery day, you don't have to think about that as just doing nothing. You could think about that as like a gentle walk, like a recovery yoga class, right?
100%. What I found over my career as an athlete and over my career as a coach is that the more you move your body, the more things tend to feel good. So even when you are super sore after a very challenging workout the next day or the day after, sometimes just going for a walk, doing some light stretching, or even a very basic workout can have you recover and feel better sooner because you are getting that heart pumping and the blood is coursing through your body, sending those healing properties to the joints and to the muscles that need them most to help speed up that recovery. So I'm finding that, hey, yes, I can do all of this movement, but it always helps support the recovery, supports me feeling good, supports my mood and my energy, supports my sleep and all of the metabolic processes that happen within my body.
The body's a miracle, man. Blood
It
blood
really
heals
is.
us. It's crazy. Okay, so to support everything you're saying, Life Sciences says working out every day is safe as long as you include a balance of different types of workouts throughout the week, high intensity cardio workouts, on too many days a week or overloading your schedule with strength training will inevitably lead to injuries and burnout. That's not what you're doing. So you're good.
Yeah. And along those same lines, I'll say that having that balance in other ways is beneficial as well. Having that balance where you're working out by yourself, having an opportunity to not speak to anyone, not chat, just be in your mind, be in your body, feel what you feel, just learn more about yourself. Well, then also there's the benefit of working out in a community, finding other like minded people, maybe finding some strangers, making new friends, and not letting the workout be the goal, but just having the movement and the experience of the movement be the goal. So there's benefits from, you know what, I'm going to do body weight today versus, you know what, I'm going to use all the equipment today. So finding that flow, finding the yin, the yang, the left, the right, are all beneficial to you just diversifying your experiences and just challenging your body to grow in different ways.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you have tried so many different workouts this year. So I've been one of my key performance indicators for your challenge is variety, and you've been hitting it. So how many? What have been some standouts of the workouts you've tried this year?
Oh my goodness, there are a lot. And my workouts have been, as I mentioned before, solo workouts where it's just me right here in this space, shadowboxing. Whereas there was other workouts where I was running a half marathon
Mm-hmm.
through the west side of Chicago. There have been part of my experiences where I'm with a sweat life and we're taking a bar class in the West Loop. So there's, I mean, I've really done a bunch. And they're all fun and they're all different. So I've taken bar classes. I went to Train Moment in Lincoln Park. I've
Love
taken
them.
classes with other residents that work with me at the Lululemon Experiential Store. We've gone into the West Loop for Bar 3. Oh, geez, where else have I been? I've gone to Rise Nation in Chicago's River North area. I've taken boxing classes at Rumble. Uh, the list is really long from the south side to the north side. I was with Train with Trina for a booty boot camp at 6 in the morning. I've kind of gone everywhere. And I find that, you know what, movement doesn't have to be super duper structured all the time. If you have goals and your goals require you to structure your workouts, to look a certain way for you to get to a specific goal, then please, by all means, that's the means that you need to take. That's the way the progression should work. But if you're looking to just maintain or maybe try something new, maybe learn more about yourself and eventually tailor off to something that's more structured and specific, you can do that too by trying all the things in the world till you get to a place where you know what you want to focus on one, two, or three. So there's no
Mm-hmm.
wrong way to approach it, especially if you're a beginner, especially if you're just getting back into the saddle. Try something new, try something different, and then you can always fine tune and tweak things later on. Nothing ever has to be the end all be all, especially on the first time and the first go at it.
Yeah, we tried Swish House together too.
We sure
Um,
did.
that was a delight.
That was
I
a
really
lot of
loved.
fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that workout in that morning. I think I sweat more than I had in a really long time there.
That was a very, very cardio based workout. And by the way, for those who don't know, and I'm sure you're going there, Gina, Swish House is a basketball inspired workout. So you don't have to be good at basketball. You can miss every shot you take, but it's an opportunity to forge a community with other people around the sport of basketball and basketball type drills, which was a lot of fun at the Ray Meyer Center in the Paul campus, right?
Yeah, that's where we did our class. That was so fun. I am not good at sports that require hand-eye coordination. So sports. But I still had such a blast. It was such a good morning and a good workout.
It
And
was.
Giddy, I know that you've been hanging out with a lot of communities too. So any communities that you've really enjoyed working out with in this time?
Oh man, I really don't want to call anyone out. I mean, all the communities have
I
been
mean, all of
fantastic,
them,
but
all of them.
one in particular, and I did mention this earlier for part of my Project 365, has been the Movement Group. And
Hmm.
Movement, for those who have not seen it just yet, is a collective of gentlemen. Emphasis on the MET in the last part of Movement. It's a collective of gentlemen who are coming together for a workout, but it's more than the workout. The workout is just a caveat, it's just a conduit to us having discussions about what it means to be a man, what it means to support each other, what it means to go through our anxieties and our challenges, how we can share where we may struggle and get support from other people like us who have gone through it or are going through those similar situations. So, yes, we have the exercise and we have the workout, and it's not all fitness professionals, it's not all high level athletes, it's people of different walks of life. from professions that vary to people at different points in their fitness journeys, just coming together, understanding what it means to be a man, learning what it means to be a man, growing as men, and supporting each other in that journey, which has been an incredible, incredible feat.
I love that. I've been watching that too because a sweat life, we've said for a long time, a sweat life is largely serving women or folks who identify as women. There are guys who come, and we love that, but it's also when men ask the question, um, how do I make more friends who are guys? There needed to be, and there needed to be a group that does that too. And I've been really excited to watch it grow, and it just feels like it's doing community the right way too, which I really love.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm the type of person who, for the most part, I've always had my circle. I've always had my friends, my family, the people I feel most comfortable just kind of associating with. But I also love meeting new people and hearing new stories. I'm always inspired by what other people have to say, what other people have been through. And for me, I'm not necessarily looking to add more friends. I'm not turning people away either. But just to be in a space of positivity is
Yeah.
always empowering for me. So that's one of the reasons why I sought out that group and being a part of it, and why so many other people are doing the same.
Yeah. I love it. Okay. Back to Project 365. What
Yeah.
you're more than halfway through the year, which is crazy. Can you believe that?
Today is day 189.
Ah, and I did the math today. I divided 365 by 2, and I was like, "Oh my god, he's over halfway done."
Yeah.
What are some lessons you've taken from the project?
Oh, there, there are so many lessons. I can write a book when it's all said and done.
I hope you do.
Um, a couple of lessons. One of the big lessons is in order for you to accomplish anything, you have to prioritize it. And I
Mm,
know everyone has heard that. We all know that, but it's very, very easy to overlook it when we look
mhm.
at the large picture. If I said to you, hey, I want you to work out 365 days starting from today, what would you say, Gina? How would you feel about that?
I would probably say no, thank you.
Now, why would you say that though? Why would you say that, Gina? No,
I don't
seriously,
like
I want to
rules.
answer.
I
Why
don't
would you
like
say that?
rules. I'm a Sagittarius. You're a Capricorn. You like structure. I don't like rules.
Okay,
I would, however, if I got there on my own, I would be like, yes, I could do that. If you were like,
okay,
would you like a challenge like this? If you told me I had to do
uh-huh,
it, the answer would be no. But if you asked
okay,
me nicely, I
okay,
would come
cool.
with you on this journey.
Now, let me ask you this follow-up question. If I
Yeah.
said for you, for the next 3 days, I want you to
Mhm.
work out for 15 minutes, could you do that? Could you commit to that?
Yeah. Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
If I said for the next 7 days, could you commit to that?
Yeah. We're just stacking it up here.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
we're
If
gonna
I
get to
said
a
for the
month.
next month,
Yeah.
what would you say?
I would, yes, I could do a month.
Okay. Now, like you may start to get a little bit more hesitant the further out
Yeah.
I go. But for me, it was like, you know what? Prioritize today. Prioritize your movement today.
Mm,
Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about next week. Don't worry about next month. That will take care of itself. Today, just when are you going to get those 15 minutes in? Well, you know what? After I teach a class, I'm going to have a little block of time. I can very easily, in that same space, work out. Boom, done. All right. That day goes by. The next day, well, I have a free day. Boom, I can knock it out. No problem. Perfect. The next day, well, you know what? This group is getting together over there. I really don't want to think about what that workout's going to be. Let me just sign up for that class or sign up for that experience. Boom, that gets done. And everything just kind of knocks itself out day after day. Now, don't get me wrong. It sounds very simple. It sounds very easy, but there are going to be days where you just have no motivation. You just
I
have
was
no
wondering.
desire to
Mhm.
move. And that's happened to me many a times. It doesn't happen as frequently because I feel like I've gotten into a groove 189 days in. You've gotten into a
Yeah.
groove of, you know what? This is just what you do. It just starts to
Mhm.
ebb and flow naturally for you. But those days where it's like, I really just don't want to do this, that's a rest day. That rest day is your
Mhm.
walk. That rest day is your
Mhm.
yoga. That rest day is your foam rolling and stretching as you're watching Netflix. You're going to be doing that
Mhm.
anyway. You might as well show your body
Mhm.
some love in the process. So there's so many ways to work around lacking motivation, but more than anything, you really just need to look at it as today. I'm just going to win today. Tomorrow will take care of itself and we'll conquer that too, but let's take care of today first. So that's one. And then two, another lesson is just diversifying what your experiences are. We touched on it a little bit earlier. Doing a little bit of everything means that it never gets stale. It never gets old, right? I'm always changing my ambiance. I'm changing my background and my location. Sometimes you'll catch me at the lakefront. Sometimes you'll catch me at home. Sometimes you'll catch me at a group fitness facility. Sometimes you'll catch me at the boxing gym. Sometimes you'll catch me running in a race, an organized race. Sometimes you'll catch me in a competition on the streets of Chicago. So it looks different all the time, and that variety just gives me a different spark, a different energy to approach that movement with. So those are my two biggest takeaways. Is just do something, do it till you don't want to do it anymore. Try something new because there's always something to help stimulate your mind, body, and soul.
Ooh, I love that. Diversifying your experiences is so important. One, there's this expert. Her name is I'm going to forget it right now because I'm not 100% Gina, but there's this woman named Laura something. I'll put it in the show notes, but she studies time and the way we perceive the passage of time. And one of the
Yeah.
key ways to make our lives feel like fuller and like you've had more time is to introduce novelty in small and big ways. Small ways are like moving your workout to a new location. Her name is Laura Vanderkam. Congratulations, brain, you did it. And big ways are like take a trip, have a like big life experience, but the small ways are just as effective because our brain, when our days are the same, are very routine, our brain compresses them into like a memory, which is why we feel like time is flying. So I wonder if you're also like, are you also experiencing like this kind of eyes wide open, like newness, happiness kind of experience that one would expect after hearing that?
Well, to be honest with you, it's all at this point just joy. Just
Yeah.
understanding that I'm accomplishing what a lot of people, I won't even say can't do, but what a lot of people won't do,
Won't.
right?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm that type A type of person. I'm a competitor at nature. This isn't
Yeah.
about a competition because it is solely just my project. I'm not
Mhm.
necessarily embarking on this with anyone else. There are people who have joined on their own version of it,
They
and
have. I
I'm
love it.
yeah, and I'm glad to see that. Hey, people are like Gideon, I love what you're doing. I want to do that too. Or I have been. There's people who've been doing something similar long before I even announced that I was doing this that I didn't even know about. So to know
Mhm.
that there are people doing this or people who now want to do this is very just I think it's pretty awesome. So understanding that you know what I can embark on this and challenge myself to do something that I know is worthwhile that maybe other people aren't doing or can't do, um, or won't do, I should say, because everybody can do it. They just have to dedicate themselves to that. So
Mhm.
yes, there is a joy that comes from knowing that I'm doing a pretty tough task, but I broke it down into a way that makes it very reasonable and very approachable for me. So yes, there's a lot of joy that comes from it. There's joy from meeting new people. There's a lot of joy in dripping sweat. I just love that. And then finding out what my body can do, what my body is not great at, but can get better from. And I do more of that just to find out how I can be my best, most well rounded, athletic version of myself.
I mean, I don't want to say I love it again because I've said it a lot, but I really do love it. But I was inspired. I was inspired by your challenge to do a challenge this spring that I made up for myself. It was I did 30 days of friends because I thought 30 days was long enough for me to make a friend a day. But when I started it, I was like, should I do a year? and
Uh,
then,
so
then I was like,
I saw when you did that, and I actually wanted to ask you similar questions to what you're asking me. So I guess I'm
yeah.
going to kind of flip the switch on you right now and become host for a brief moment.
Oh, yeah, do
How
it.
when you decided to embark on that, did you think, you know what, day one, day two, day three, ooh, I got 30 days. I don't know if I can do this. Or was it very natural for you? I mean, you are an energetic, outgoing person that builds relationships all the time. How did that feel for you?
Well, good question. So like some days just like fitness, honestly. It's like some days it was really easy. Like it would just I would be in a really good mood for it and I would be in a place where people were really friendly and it would just come like bing bang boom, come really naturally. But some days I would wake up and I would just need a day to myself because it's also a lot of like putting yourself out there to set up in your mind like I'm going to make a friend today. That's also like if you choose to look at it this way, it could be like I'm going to get rejected today. I didn't get rejected that free. I got rejected one time and it
Mhm.
was by someone who didn't want to take a selfie with me and I was like that's cool. We can be friends anyway. And we still had a whole conversation, but
Yeah.
that was the only part that was kind of draining. It was that
Mm,
every day I'd wake up and the first thought would be like, ooh, opportunity, I get to make a friend. And then like second thought would be like, where am I gonna make a friend?
yeah, yeah. It,
uh,
that yeah, that I know. Thank you for sharing that because it's very different from my challenge, but very similar in many ways. It's
yeah.
different in the sense that you know what, every day that you try to make a friend requires you to put forth a level of energy, right? Whereas
Hmm.
my challenge, sometimes my energy can be up to the max, sometimes my energy can be down here, depending on the intensity I select. Whereas you always have to have something that's going to draw somebody in to say like,
Yeah.
okay, I can engage with this person. So similar in the sense that it's a challenge and it requires consistency and you putting yourself out there, etc. But you know, it requires you to do a little bit more because you don't have a day where you can turn the dial down or switch it off entirely as well. So kudos to
I
you
did
on
have a
embarking on
hack.
that.
I did have a hack
What
for a
was that?
couple days where when I was just tired and I couldn't like emotionally put myself out there was someone who had reached out to me, or a couple people who had reached out to me in my DMs to be like, "Can I be your friend one day during this challenge?" And on those days, I arranged to meet up with those people when I was like, "I can't do it," and
Yeah,
I felt like that still counted.
100%. Did you make a friend that day?
I sure did.
Exactly. So when people say like, "Hey, you did yoga for 15 minutes, you went for a 15-minute walk. Did I move that day? Was it concentrated effort?" Absolutely. So don't think that your workouts always have to be full tilt,
Yeah,
foot on the gas pedal in order for it to benefit your body. Like, no, your body is just one part of your overall wellness. Don't forget your mind. Don't forget your flexibility and your mobility. Don't forget your heart rate, your breathing, your mindfulness. All of that makes you better, makes you more well rounded, and takes care of the whole self. So consider that when you're putting together your fitness plans.
I love this. And what's great about both our challenges is that both the act of making a friend, the act of trying something new, the act of doing physical movement, all those things release like good for you chemicals in your brain, like oxytocin, serotonin, adrenaline. You know, like all the things we need to feel like up and energetic. So it's
Yes,
not just our bodies. It's not just surface friendship. So you know, it's good for you.
it's great for you.
Yeah, it's so good for you. Okay, is there anything else you want to share about Project 365 before we move on to show and tell?
Yeah, that's a great question. Anything else I want to share? I mean, I just really love it. I really have not, I really didn't know where it was going to go or how it was going to morph or change or adjust. I will say that there are going to be moments where you find yourself gravitating towards certain styles of movement or towards certain just modes of engaging in your physical self. And that's completely fine. Matter of fact, it's a great way for you to open up Pandora's box, but then start to filter it to what makes you the most happiest. So, for those of you who have not worked out in a while or have not worked out at all, try something, try anything, try everything, right? You don't have to necessarily stick with it. The more you kind of test out the gamut and see what options are out there, the more you'll actually start to funnel yourself towards something that brings you most joy, which can
Yeah.
be dancing, which can be swimming, which can be a jog, walk, run, which can be classes in structured formats like that. It can be you working out at home to workouts on YouTube. You can be on the Get Fit with Giddy app. You have tons of opportunities and options out there to move and just give yourself a chance to find wherever home may be.
Because the workout that you are most likely to do is the one you like.
Indeed, that is a fact.
All right, and now it's time for show and tell. Let's share a tip,
Okay.
a resource, or an article. You want me to go first, Gideon?
Yeah, I would love for you to go first.
Okay, so my tip has nothing to do with this challenge. I'm going off the reservation for this tip because I don't know if I've ever talked to you about this, Gideon. I love outer space. I wanted to be an astronaut when I was growing up. Love it.
Pause. Gotta
Pause.
ask you. Gotta ask you.
Mhm.
Do you believe in aliens?
Oh, yeah. What about you?
I don't know. I don't I don't think I do. So this is my thing, and I was having this conversation with my wife as well too. When it
Yeah.
comes to aliens, extraterrestrials, whatever, right? There's no reason for me not to necessarily, but there is no reason for me to believe that they exist as well. The reason why I say that is because if you give me signs, evidence, or experiences that light up in that direction, I can start to put together my own theories, my own ideas. But since I haven't seen any, or any footage that I've come across online has been grainy, weak at best, it's hard for me to attribute that as fact. So I need a little bit more from my own perspective for it to line up and be. But who knows?
So like if you shook hands with an alien, then you'd be, or like
Then
whatever
I'll
an
be
alien
like,
has, like
yeah,
shook
I
tentacles.
met, I met dude. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's real. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But but if I was the one who was standing outside and something weird streaked across the sky and I got a good glimpse of it, then I can be like, yo, all right. But since it's always, footage that I saw on the news that was a blip, that was slowed down and looked like somebody just threw confetti in the air, then it's like, all right, maybe, but also there's a lot of maybe not possibilities there too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
why,
Okay.
why do
My
you
reason,
believe?
okay, the reason I believe in aliens is because the universe is just so big, and the idea that we are the only life that exists in it
Hmm.
is mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
And I've also, because of my obsession with it, with with space, I have gotten to speak with astronauts over the course of my life.
Oh,
My
okay.
mom and dad were like very supportive, short of sending me to space camp because space camp was super expensive. Of my astronaut dreams, so they took me to like meet astronauts, and that we went to different, like, like spacey things. And
Okay.
if you ask astronauts about aliens, they clam up.
Is,
So
is that right?
yeah, I have had that conversation. Honestly, I think we're not alone. I'm not gonna make any guesses beyond that.
Okay.
I've never seen an alien either, nor have I shaken
Yeah.
tentacles with one. But I think there's more life out there. But I
Indeed.
digress.
Yeah.
I love this diversion. Wait, my show and tell.
I love that. I love
My
that.
show and tell is from NPR.
Okay.
This week, a lot of places, particularly in North America, are going to be able to see the aurora borealis. So we're recording this on July 9th, and
Hmm.
the best days will be Wednesday, the 12th, and Thursday, the 13th. So even in Chicago, we'll be able to see the northern lights, but you'll want to get away from some light pollution, but a good time to gaze up if it's not cloudy.
Nice. Now, do you know for those in the Chicagoland area how far out we need to go in order for us to get good visibility? Do you have any idea?
Well, if you're trying to avoid light pollution, you would probably want to either be out on the lake, or you could drive around to the other side of Lake Michigan, or
Okay.
just or or drive north. But I think we might be able to see it in the city, but it would be more faint. If you want a good experience, I would just drive north, go out on the lake, or drive around to like St.
Okay.
Joseph, Michigan, or something.
Nice. Very nice.
Take the fam, make it a night.
Yeah, why not? I think I might.
No, no. Okay, Gideon, do you have a show and tell?
A show and tell.
I didn't give you much time to prepare for this, so
You,
if you
you
can
didn't give me
pass if you
much
need
time to
to.
prepare, but it's all good. A couple of show and tells, just because we're number one on the fitness theme. I will
Mhm,
say that I really love communities, and
mhm.
communities that expose you to more than you normally have access to. So, shameless plug for you and a sweat life. I really have enjoyed being an a sweat life ambassador because it's just given me opportunities to see things, to meet people, to go to places, to try products and services, and to connect with these products and services even outside of a sweat life that I still tie into and use and support to this very day. So kudos to you and the team for the great work that you do in exposing us to so many amazing experiences. And for those who are new to a city or want to try something that they read about, or maybe want to jump in on a workout that they haven't had a chance to experience, like do those things and use these communities that are structured to bring those things to you to learn more and to be attuned to what's happening in this world and in this space of wellness because it's for your benefit, right? It's for your mind, your body. It's for all of the things that are going to make you show up better for yourself and for the people around you in this world. So take full advantage. So that's one. And then two, another resource that I love and I take advantage of every day is the Wall Street Journal's, for lack of a better term, daily recap. and I get a email in my inbox every morning at 5:30, 6 a.m. And essentially it gives me the news that I need to know for that day. And what I love about it is, well, for 5 minutes, I can sit down, kind of research the generals. I'm not necessarily at home watching news all that often. And I certainly don't want to get only my news updates from social media because that can be a little wacky. So having a credible news source in my inbox, kind of breaking down the things that are important, not only in the United States, but across the world, really gives me just a good general feel for what's happening. And of course, I can follow up on anything that's really pressing or super interesting to me.
Who I love. Okay, speaking of love, something we're loving this week. We'll end with this. We like to create a positive sandwich, but this whole thing has been positive from end to end. It falls under food, friendship, fitness, or fun. Gideon, would you like to go second? To
I would love to go second.
Okay, great. What I'm loving this week is our studio of the month at a Sweat Life, which is Body Bar Pilates. It's lovely. It's more classical, like Joseph Pilates.
Hmm.
I really enjoy that style. I like all styles of reformer Pilates, but it's nice, just like anything, it's nice to like touch that end of the spectrum again because it can be gentle and it also can be just really challenging to your muscles. Have you
Yeah,
tried it yet?
I have not tried it yet. Maybe just like we did with Switch House, maybe we try it together.
Oh yeah, I would love to.
I would
I
love
want to
to
do
as
the
well
mixed
too.
equipment class.
Oh, okay. All right. You know more than I do. I'm just gonna follow your
Okay.
lead.
Okay. I'll tell you when.
All right. Okay. Now you gave me several categories to pick from. I know you said food,
Food,
fitness, things. Yep. So I'm
friendship,
gonna start there. Actually,
fitness,
I want to
fun.
go through all of those if you don't
Oh, I
mind.
love.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start with food. So I am 100% Nigerian,
Hmm.
and I just came back from church not too long ago, and there was a celebration that happened afterwards. And one of the native foods that they provided and that I absolutely love, it will always be my favorite food in the entire world, is iyo and efo. So it is a hand-eaten food. It's a starch, and it is a yam starch that you scoop into a spinach tomato-based soup, which is just my
Mm.
favorite. So for any of you who have never tried it, find a Nigerian restaurant and ask for the Iyan and Efo. The
I
next
tried
is
spelling
what?
it.
Fitness, you said?
Fitness. Yeah.
Okay,
Food,
so
fitness, friendship. Yep.
okay, yeah. So when it comes to fitness, for me, it's pickup basketball. I love a lot of fitness things, but for me, I'm in a season of pickup basketball where I know I'm not the best basketball player in the world. My skills are limited. I've played a lot of other sports except for the sport of basketball. But the challenge of running up and down the court, playing defense, playing offense, knowing the rules of the game, and watching an hour pass by and you thought that 10 minutes just elapsed is very invigorating for me. Going back to what you were talking about, the concept of time when you're doing things that are different and simulating in different ways is just top notch for me.
Hmm.
So friendship, what I'm loving about friendship is this one right here, Gina. Thank you for reaching out and hitting me up and having a chance to catch up and chat. You know, we don't see and chat with each other all that often, but it's always fun when we do. And I can appreciate not having to be in contact every single day in order for us to still have a relationship, which I think
Yeah,
is
we can be
cool. You
friends
know,
all the time.
we can be friends all the time. Absolutely. So I'm gonna end there. But that's my
Okay.
food, my fitness, and my friendship.
And I feel like fun really went through all of them, if you
Yeah,
think about it. Uh,
agree.
Gideon, where can folks find you if they want to work out with you, follow you, hang out with you?
Yes, thank you for asking. You can find me on my website, first and foremost, GideonAkonde.com, GideonAkonde.com. I have my own fitness app, so if people want to join me for boxing workouts, bodyweight workouts, dumbbell strength, cycling, and a host of other workouts, you can find it there. I also have an in-class schedule where I have a residency at the Lululemon Experiential Store on North Avenue in Sheffield in Chicago's Lincoln Park. You can join me there Tuesday nights at 5:30 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. On my website is the full schedule and calendar. So check it out. Would love to have you there. And then on social media, my handle is Get Fit with Giddy. Giddy being Giddy. I'm also on Threads as well too. For those of you who are hip to that, join me on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, all the places. I would love to connect with you.
Amazing. Well, this has been another episode of We Got Goals, which is an a sweatlife.com production and another thing that's better with friends. Thanks to Gideon Akande for joining me. Thanks to Ryan Deffett for editing, Ryan Barayuga for video production, and thanks to all of you, our listeners, for subscribing, rating, reviewing, whatever you do with podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Goodbye.